Okay, in this lesson, we're going to talk about another very basic interview question that you could potentially get, and that is, what is the difference between an Excel worksheet and an Excel workbook? And the answer is that a worksheet is a collection of cells where you keep and manipulate data. And if we go into Excel, I'll show you an example of that. This is a worksheet. It contains cells where you store and manipulate data. And a workbook is a file that contains one or more worksheets. So in this example, the title up here is our workbook, and this entire space is our workbook. This individual sheet here, which is labeled snow cones, is a worksheet. And we have several sheets in this workbook. And if I go to another tab here, you can see we have another worksheet here. And here's a blank worksheet. And all of these worksheets are contained within the file that is this workbook. Now, an additional question that you may be asked, which is very important, is how do you add or delete a workbook, and how do you add or delete worksheets within those workbooks? So let's go over that real quick. To add a workbook, you could go Control N, and that just instantly created a new workbook. And you can tell that by looking up here at the title. It says Book 2, and if I hover over my Excel icon, you can see I have Book 2 here, and I have the original one that I was working on here. So that immediately created a new workbook. I can also close that and go back to just my one workbook, and I can also do it by going to File, New, and Blank Workbook. And now you'll notice it by default named it Book 3. And to close out of that workbook, I can either hover over the Excel icon and close it here, or while I'm in that workbook, I go to the X button and click Close. If you're on a Mac, you're going to have a button up in the upper left-hand corner. But in a PC, you click on the X to close it. And now I'm back into my original workbook. Now, when you're in a workbook, let's talk about how to add or delete worksheets. That's pretty simple as well. To add a worksheet, you can go down to the tabs down here with the sheet names, and you can hit the plus button here. And you can see it even says New Sheet. You just click that, and it names it. I already had a Sheet 1, so it names it Sheet 2. Very creative naming. And then we have a new sheet here. I can go in and double click on that, and I can rename it. I could name it New Sheet. Click Enter, and now that is named New Sheet. If you're in Windows, there's a shortcut that you can use, which is Shift F11. And you'll now see I was in the new sheet, and now I'm in a new sheet 3. So it just added it. I can do that again, Shift F11, and now it's a new sheet, sheet 4. To get rid of sheets or delete sheets, you just right click on it and go to Delete. Right click and delete. If you want to delete several sheets, you click on one sheet and press Control and click on the other sheet. Now I have two sheets selected, and I can right click, and you'll see that New Sheet and Sheet 1 are going to go away. Delete, and they're gone. Now I'm back to just my original worksheets. Okay, so that's the definitions of a workbook, which is the file holding all of your worksheets, and a worksheet, which is your individual spreadsheets within your Excel workbook. Hope that was helpful. I know we're sort of starting with the basics here, but you have to know the basics before you can move on to the more advanced stuff. So keep watching, and I'll add some more Excel interview questions and answers for you.